Only on CBS Atlanta tonight, a Henry County woman was killed in a horrible car crash. But the councilman who was responsible for her death got off scot-free. Not a single ticket, not a single fine. Chief investigative reporter Wendy Saltzman is asking the tough question tonight. Did his political power influence the investigation?
Councilman Harold Walls was driving a dump truck that hadn't been properly inspected in years. With bald tires and a forged safety record. When his brakes malfunctioned, he collided with another car and killed 46-year-old Samantha Kirby. Now Kirby's family says the councilman was treated differently than a normal citizen and given special treatment because of his political ties.
This is vehicular homicide. This is pure negligence. And this gentleman is Wald. That's all I want is justice. Nothing else.
The emotion is raw 5 months after Blane Kirby's wife was killed in a tragic accident. The other driver was Hampton City Councilman Harold Walls.
Has he received a ticket for the accident?
Not one thing.
On June 11th, Walls was traveling southbound on Highway 42.
This was a day where it had rained, the roadway was wet.
He was driving this old dump truck, which Walls used to haul trash for his company, D&J Hauling. Police say Walls pressed on his brakes.
And in doing so, lost control of the vehicle. I believe there may have been some sort of brake malfunction, but his vehicle actually went over the center line, and Miss Kirby's vehicle struck the dump truck, and she was pronounced dead at the scene.
He's a city councilman for the city of Hampton. He doesn't have a business license, hadn't had one in 3 years.
And records obtained by CBS Atlanta News shows Walls' commercial truck hadn't been properly inspected in accordance with motor carrier safety regulations since 2003. A Georgia State Patrol inspection after the accident found the truck had multiple deficiencies, including the brakes being out of service.
The tires are slick. They're not roadworthy. If it would have ever been inspected, this truck would have never been on the road.
I wanted to talk to you about the accident that killed Samantha Kirby.
I can't talk to you about that.
When we found Walls, he was getting out of his truck. He tried to get back in and drive away, but not before we asked him the tough questions.
Why won't you speak to us?
In this legal response, Walls admits he was the only person who inspected the truck in the last 5 years, which means this government inspection sticker claiming the truck was safe was fake.
And you lied about that. Did you think that it was safe to be on the road?
I can't talk to you, but I've been told not to.
And get this.
Do I personally think he was getting favor? Yes.
The first responder to the scene was Henry County Fire, where Walls retired as an EMT in 2010. Locust Grove police had originally worked the accident, but soon handed the investigation over to Henry County. Major Jason Bolton says that's because Henry County has more resources and is better trained.
If your officers were better trained, that some of these things, like the fact that he had handwritten in his inspection date, would have been checked at the scene.
Well, again, when you have a fatality investigation, even if we might recognize some violations at the scene, we're not going to cite somebody there and then say, well, there may be some more citations coming later on.
So Walls walked away from the scene without taking a drug or alcohol test and without a single citation.
Was Walls treated differently because he's a city councilman?
I don't believe so, no.
But do you think that truck should have been on the road?
The evidence was presented to a grand jury and they dismissed all the charges. Now there's nothing stopping Walls from getting back behind the wheel of a commercial vehicle and back on the road again. I'm Wendy Saltzman, CBS Atlanta News.